You never grow up thinking much of yourself. You always think other people know what they're doing, or no, someone else will sort it out. Ah, my dad's got it covered. No, my sister's got it covered. No, my brother's got it covered. No, my mom will do it. It's fine. No, this guy will do it. No, it's cool. I, I'm just not the main character. I guess yeah, head boy, give him all the attention. I just don't have the stuff, to do that. Maybe you were picked on in school. Maybe you were smaller than other people. Maybe people made you feel bad for who you were, and they picked on you for like maybe you were a bit of a nerd or you just didn't fit in perfectly. And people put ideas in your head. And you see, the tough thing about childhood stuff is you genuinely have fuck all control. So those ideas that go into your head, they stay there because you're barely conscious enough to not have them, right? If you're 5 and a 10-year-old tells you, "Hey, you're small," haha, and he kicks you, like, what are you gonna do about that? Especially if like you don't have the greatest family life, or maybe you don't have the best influences around you. You know, you might just believe that. Hey, I'm small. Oh yeah, maybe I'm dumb. I'm just weird. I'm just a nerd. No one likes me. Like, I'm always gonna be an outsider. And maybe you even take pleasure in that. Some people might take pleasure in that kind of renegade lifestyle. But deep down, we all want to be part of a group, right? And like, I understand not wanting to be part of the high school group. I actually like recommend that, not being part of that, because usually they're a bunch of lost souls. But I think a lot of times that experience of being pushed aside, or of thinking that someone else will take care of things, or the inaction in your own life, a lot of that feeling can bring about this identity that you have, that you're just that you're just an NPC in someone else's video game, right? Like, okay, we're all NPCs in Elon Musk's video game. I'm taking so much solace, and you take solace in it because nothing's my responsibility. Thank God, responsibility is so scary, right? Right? Responsibility is scary because then things are your fault, but also then things are your fault. The good that happens to you is your cause, your doing. The bad that happens to you is partially your doing as well. Most of the bad that happens to you is actually your doing. But until you accept that identity as the active person who controls you, whatever you is, right? Until you accept that, you're never gonna be happy or congruent with yourself. This still happens to me sometimes. I'm quite successful. I'm quite happy. I'm very fulfilled in my life right now. But I'll always get this feeling of, okay, now what do I have to do to keep up with the Joneses? What do I have to do to keep up appearances? What do I have to do to make it seem like I actually am the guy that this company's hired me to be? What do I have to do to make sure that these people all think I am actually this like super smart engineer guy? You have to be yourself. But when you are taught as a youngling that yourself is inadequate, right? It's Look, it's not what God wants for us to feel inadequate in ourselves. It's what the world places on us. It's what I don't like being one of these fuckers, but it is what society places on you. And what the society breeds inadequacy, breeds the feeling of inadequacy, especially now with social media. Fuck, I can only imagine how tough it is for you teenagers seeing all these like David Lade, like or like Z. I love Z's, but like Z's and all these Michael and like fucking Chads like Hamza. I love Hamza, but like all these Chads you see online, you're like, fuck, why am I not like that? You know? Me at like 17, like, why am I not like that? Because you're 17, bro. Because you're 20, because you're 21, because you're 18, because you're 50. If you're 15 watching this, fucking good day, but because you're young, right? And because you are you and they are them. That's why. Because you coveting, you being jealous of, you craving what they have, doesn't make you better. It doesn't make your current circumstance better. It's okay to want things, definitely. Want what they have. You should want what they should have more. You should want more than what they have. But you should also be internally content with your identity because a lot of times people don't just want I've noticed this a lot. People don't want what other people have. They want to be other people. They want that feeling of being that other person, but you genuinely don't know the space, like the shape of that person's mind. You don't know how my mind thinks. No, I don't know how your mind thinks, but I've gotten to a point where I can understand myself a bit more. I'm really happy with myself. I'm really content with myself. So I like being in my own mind, right? But you might not like it. You might not like the fact that this thing doesn't fucking turn off until I like put everything in my room off, or the fact that this thing keeps keeps telling me that I'm dog shit a lot of the times. You wouldn't like that, you know? But it would cause you to be me somewhat. Well, I don't want to get into the whole concept of self. It's very difficult to discuss. But there's a lot that you don't really put into thought when you think, oh, I just want to be Hamza. Oh, I just want to be fucking this guy with a symmetrical face. Oh, I just want to be this dude. Or I just want to have this car. I just want to do all these things. But it's like, why aren't you satisfied with your identity? Is it because of like childhood conditioning of, oh, you're inadequate? Or is it because of society telling you you're inadequate? A lot of the reason why society tells you you're inadequate is because that's how you sell things. Like, because we have most of our bases covered, most marketing is creating need, right? Most marketing is, whoa, that girl's wearing a pink bathing suit. I only have a black one. Fuck, I need to get that pink one because she looks so hot in it. But you're selling like marketing sells you the person. You're not gonna look like that chick in that fucking pink thing. Or like, okay, for a dude, oh damn man, this guy got like, look at these black trainers he got on. Oh, it looks so cool. You're not gonna get his abs because you're wearing the trainers. Like think about that next time you look at marketing shit. That's why, bro, all my gym gear, this is an old shirt I cut up. All my gym gear is old shit cut up. Because it looks fine, cost me nothing. Gives a shit, bro. I'm in the gym to make gains, not to just I dress work when I'm going to work. I dress to impress, but not to the fucking gym. That's just a side tangent. I really want you guys to think about your actual identity, not what people tell you it is. And like, get a journal out, write this down. It gets deep, bro. It gets deep. And I especially recommend you starting at childhood. Start at the earliest possible memories that you have. Really put everything away and just think about it, man. Because when you figure out your real identity, when you figure out your purpose as a masculine man, when you find your purpose and your identity, you start realizing what's noise and what's the way. You start realizing God's clarity and the noise of the world. And there's a lot of fucking noise. So yeah, and also to a certain extent, I don't think identity is something you choose because look, a lot part of it is societal conditioning, a lot part of it is genetic also, but make it somewhat your choice. Let me put it like that. Make your identity your choice. Or whatever God's purpose is for you, if you have that spiritual connection. You know, that's or your dharma, or what Allah wants for you, or what the universe wants for you, the mystical atheist. Just think of something. Think of something that's truly better for you and better for society, not what the fucking asshole told you in grade 1 or grade 2 or grade 3. What those nayas told you about like, oh, look at the shape of it. I don't fucking, I can't even remember this thing those stupid people said to me, but like, okay, let me talk from my perspective. So, I was bullied a lot as a child. I'm sure you can tell. Bullied a lot as a kid. I was a year younger in school, so I was smaller than the girls and the boys for a large period of time, and it made me very self-conscious about my size. I'm still not like the biggest guy, but I'm average size. But it made me quite self-conscious about that, and I grew up thinking that like, okay, I'm small and inadequate, and women don't like me. And I still have that to a large extent. I still have that feeling like, oh, I'm small, I'm inadequate, women don't like me, other men don't respect me. But women do like me. Other men do respect me. I'm not small. I am adequate. I genuinely am. My identity is still stuck there, you see. So this message is as much for you as it is for me. Write it down. Go deep. Go back into the childhood stuff. That's where it starts. I'd really recommend the book Complex PTSD From Surviving to Thriving. Even if you don't think you have complex PTSD, like I don't think I have it, but I have some symptoms of like definite fucking childhood trauma shit. But when you really go back and look at it, like everyone has fucked up childhood things. And I had an amazing childhood. Overall, my childhood was fucking excellent. But there's still parts of it where I'm like, damn, that shouldn't have happened to me. That really shouldn't have happened to me. I wasn't capable of understanding what was happening there, and it fucks you up. But you can deal with it. You can always deal with it. It's always your responsibility. It always falls back on your fucking feet. You know, this is why this channel is called This is why this channel is called Reasonably Based, because I take a based approach to shit. It is your fault. It is your responsibility. You are accountable to it. You are accountable for all the fucked up shit that's happened to you, good or bad, right? Because no one else is gonna fix your problems. Now I'm gonna get real. No one else is gonna fix your fucking problems. As much as I love you guys, as much as your family loves you, they're not gonna fucking step in your brain and do the work for you. You have to do it. You have to go back and do that fucking horrible thing, right? And if it's super super horrible and you have the money, go to therapy or whatever. But if you can't, there's so many books and educational platforms available. You are just facing resistance. Like I mentioned in the other video, that's that small bit of resistance. It's just this is the resistance. How do I get over bullying? What is complex PTSD? Do I have an anxiety problem? Just Google those small things. How do I quell my anxieties? Watch a summary of complex PTSD. Hamza has an amazing video on complex PTSD. Watch that video. It's an hour long. If you relate at all, read the fucking book. If you relate at all, if you're a brown guy, brown people especially, I don't know about white people that much, but like the brown experience, if your parents like terrorized you a bit, parents or siblings terrorized you when you were younger, read the book. Read the book. Complex PTSD, From Surviving to Thriving. I really want to get this across, but I'm struggling to, because it's making me emotional. So I'm struggling to get it across, but I don't want anyone living how I was living, and even how I'm currently living now. Like if I'm being dead honest, my identity still isn't sorted. I still struggle with fucking feelings of permanent inadequacy. It feels like my brain is always just like, oh, he's bigger than you. Oh, she's smarter than you. Oh, she wouldn't like you. You're just a fucking little worm. Like, come on, bruh. I'm a fucking like when I hear myself say these things, when I speak it, then I can defend myself. But when it's in my head, and all of us do this, when things are in our head, we don't look at them objectively because they're coming from us, right? They're coming from us. That isn't fucking you. The person who makes the entity that makes those thoughts is not you, guys. I'll probably make my next video about that, but it's not you. Have you ever asked yourself when you're looking for like something, oh fuck, where did I put my controller? Who are you talking to? Remember that shit, bro. The you is a much more difficult. That's why I like religious belief as the spirit, or I'm not too keen on other stuff, but the spirit is you. Your spirit is you. That's the best example I can give. And I don't know what the other versions are, but like your higher self is you. Let me put it like that. So do what they want, do what they choose, be who they are, be your higher self. Put the habits in place to make yourself your higher self. Yeah, just stop seeing yourself as below, bro. Stop seeing yourself as below, man. It's difficult. I know it's difficult because you're so conditioned to do it. And it's gotten you somewhere, you know? You probably aren't a complete failure. So this little fucking thought demon in your head has gotten you somewhere to a certain extent. So maybe you find him useful. But he's not useful for where you're going. He's not useful for where you're going, because where you're going requires some sense of self-compassion. True development comes from self-compassion as well as self-hard-assedness, like being hard on yourself. You got to be hard on yourself, but you also got to be compassionate with yourself. Like be your own parents. Got to be hard on yourself like your dad. Got to be soft like your mom, to a certain extent. And look, obviously, it's difficult to strike that balance perfectly, but I just wanna. I'm fucking going on a tangent, but I'm sorry, guys. Just identify who you really are and stick to that. Try and stick to that person, and don't let anyone point a fucking finger in your face and say, "Oh, but you are this and that." Fuck those people. You are who God says you are. You are who your deepest, truest self says you are. You're not those things all those people told you you were. Promise you that. I promise you that.